Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday morning, January 4th. Quite a snowstorm yesterday in parts of the Mid-Atlantic region. The hard-hit area was from the D.C. metro region across the Delmarva Peninsula into the Jersey Shore region, all the way from Brigantine down to Cape May. Got some substantial snowfall from yesterday's storm. Meanwhile, just to the north and west, Philadelphia, New York City, and the very northern fringes received only a few flakes in Pennsylvania and New York City, as very dry air inhibited the snowfall from advancing anywhere farther north than that zone from D.C. to the Delmarva to southern central part of New Jersey. We have another snow event, looks like, on the table for Thursday night into Friday morning for the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll focus in on that, but first let's do kind of a quick recap of yesterday's storm. Again, really, this whole region, all the way back into the, let's say, Charlottesville area, across the D.C. metro region, much of the Delmarva Peninsula, into southern and maybe central part of New Jersey, got the heaviest snowfall yesterday, anywhere from maybe 6 to as much as 12 to 13 inches or so in this particular region. I know there were some reports of about 7 inches at Reagan National Airport, DCA, which is certainly their biggest snowstorm in a couple of years. As I recall, they only ended up with about 5 inches of snow for the entire winter last year. That's at DCA, Reagan National Airport. Charlottesville at 8 or 9 inches yesterday. Culpeper about the same, 8 inches or so. Bethesda 7 or 8 inches. And all the way, again, to the Jersey Shore, there were reports of 12, maybe even 13 inches at some of the Jersey Shore locations, from Cape May up to Atlantic City and Brigantine. Meanwhile, a sharp cutoff of the snow really from here north, New York City, Philadelphia, very little, if any, in terms of snow, and all this due to some very cold and dry air. There was a high pressure up to the north and west, which is always almost a requirement for snow in the Mid-Atlantic region, and that cold, dry air inhibited the snow from advancing into Pennsylvania, into New York City, for example, but it was a perfect setup, perfect placement for the D.C., Delmarva Peninsula, southern part of New Jersey zone. By the way, temperatures reached up to maybe 60 degrees or so on Sunday, and it's perhaps amazingly, but it's really not unprecedented at all, that there can be such a quick turnaround to see accumulating snow the very next day. Again, 60 plus degrees on Sunday, 6, 7, 8 inches on Monday in the D.C. metro region. You need a couple of things. Obviously, you need that cold air intrusion, and there was a very powerful frontal system that came through Sunday night, ushered in a very cold air mass relative to the weekend conditions into the Mid-Atlantic region. You also need snow coming down at a very good clip, and the intensity level of the snow yesterday in D.C. and Delmarva was substantial and enough to lay on the ground, and then once that you get that base forming, it's much easier for the snow to start piling up. And again, that was the case yesterday in this particular zone right here. Now, the Thursday night, Friday morning storm system can certainly have an impact all the way up into Philadelphia, New York City as well. We'll talk about that over the next few minutes. Well, one final point I just thought about, that big turnaround from the very mild conditions over the weekend to a snowstorm on Monday in places like D.C., all the way to the Jersey shoreline. Huntsville, Alabama actually had an amazing weekend. They actually reached 79 degrees on Saturday, followed by 6 inches of snow on Sunday from the same storm system that affected parts of the Mid-Atlantic region on Monday. So indeed, the atmosphere can turn around in a hurry. I just wanted to start off here Tuesday morning with a look at the bitter cold air mass. It still is piled up along Alaska and the western part of Canada. Just take a look at this right now. I've kind of focused a lot on the Alaska cold over the last several weeks. They've had some tremendous and persistent cold up in that part of North America. And I focus on it because very often pieces of that Arctic air slide to the south and east into the central and eastern U.S. And watch what happens here over the next several days. There's potential for some very, very cold air moving into the northeastern part of the nation early next week. Let's say next Monday, Tuesday time frame. If all goes according to what I think may happen here, we could see temperatures way down in the single digits in places like New York City, maybe even down to 0 degrees or so early next week, and very cold air all the way down into Philadelphia and D.C. as well. Watch what happens, first of all, as we go forward here with this particular bitter cold air mass up along, here's Alaska right here, and this is western Canada. First of all, it starts to make a move to the south and east, and this first batch that comes into the mid-Atlantic, northeastern U.S. is on the heels of the upcoming storm system. Thursday night, Friday morning will be followed by very cold air by Friday night into Saturday morning, and this time could be snow cover not only across D.C. and that part of the Mid-Atlantic region, but could be snow cover up across much of Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey as well, all the way up into New England from the Thursday night, Friday morning storm system. That's cold blast number one coming on the heels of whatever falls Thursday night and Friday. Then watch what happens. Still have very cold air. This is way colder than normal for this time of the year. That is some truly Arctic air. When you're 20 degrees below normal in early January up across Alaska and western Canada, that is well below zero. And watch this. This makes a move to the south and east. After a brief milder pattern over the upcoming latter part of the weekend, this batch of cold really has to be watched over the next few days, because I believe it could come all the way into the Mid-Atlantic region, northeastern part of the nation, especially New England area, next Monday, Tuesday time frame, and with snow cover, the potential for snow cover, that could yield some very, very low temperatures, some of which we haven't seen in quite a while in the Mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. Again, that's looking ahead about a week or so. Let's now focus in on the upcoming threat for the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., Thursday night, Friday morning, and the wave of energy that I'll be monitoring closely over the next couple of days is still way out in this part of the Pacific Ocean, right in this region right here. So it's off the west coast of Canada. In other words, it doesn't come ashore until maybe later on tomorrow. So the modeling will start to get a better handle of this particular wave of energy, the all-important wave of energy for the Thursday night, Friday system, probably during the day on Wednesday. So we'll see what the models start to show beginning tomorrow, but we can talk about it now for sure. This is the area of energy to watch over the next couple of days, and let's just move forward and watch what happens. There's a little energy out ahead of this main area right here. This is associated with that cold blast that I talked about that will be coming. There's actually a cold front that will be coming through the Mid-Atlantic region about the Wednesday night time frame, ushering cold air for the Thursday and Friday time period here. That's what this sharp upper level low is right here, associated with that cold frontal system that again reaches the eastern U.S. at midweek. Moving forward, and here's the Thursday night, Friday energy, and here is the cold shot coming and Wednesday night, Thursday. That pushes through. A cold frontal system comes through the Mid-Atlantic region Wednesday night, early Thursday, ushers in colder air for the upcoming event Thursday night into Friday. And here comes that wave of energy off the Pacific Ocean into the middle of the nation by the time we get to Thursday morning. And exactly how far it digs to the south and east will dictate how much snow can fall in the I-95 corridor region, in the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. Again, we're looking at Thursday night, Friday morning. This is from the 0Z run of the GFS, and it has a pretty impressive wave of energy here by late Thursday night, early Friday morning, right into this part of the eastern U.S. at that time. And exactly where it ends up will dictate how much snow can fall. If you're a snow lover, The good news here is that we have a fresh cold air mass coming in following the Wednesday night frontal passage into the day on Thursday. A new cold air mass will move into the mid-Atlantic region. On the other hand, one negative if you're a snow lover is that this system appears to be a fairly quick mover. It looks like it moves through Thursday night, early Friday, and then pushes off to the north and east. That kind of lessens the chance for a major snow event, but certainly that's still on the table, and certainly a moderate snow event is on the table here. This is the energy that we'll be watching right here by Friday morning, right over the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, right now, way off out over the northeastern Pacific Ocean. Well, let's now walk through the surface forecast maps from the 0Z run of the operational GFS. High pressure has moved in overhead this morning, lessening the strong winds that we experienced yesterday. They died down overnight. Today will be only light variable winds, a cold day in the Mid-Atlantic region with snow cover south of the Mason-Dixon line, but no snow cover in Pennsylvania. Temperatures probably confined in the 30s this afternoon. Then we'll move forward here. That high shifts off the coast and allows a little bit milder air. Notice here, ahead of the next cold front, you have southwesterly flow of air in this fashion right here. The cold frontal system is positioned right here as we begin the day on Wednesday. This is a cold air mass pushing in behind that cold frontal system. So we have southwesterly flow blowing counterclockwise around the Great Lakes low on Wednesday. That will boost temperatures on Wednesday in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. It can be a rain or snow shower or two during the day ahead of that frontal system. Let's move forward here. That front then clears the eastern seaboard by the time we get to early Thursday. This is late Wednesday night. Frontal system right in this region right here. That continues to move to the east. By the time we get to Thursday morning, it's off the coast. You basically have a fresh air mass, very cold Canadian high right in this region right here. Cold air mass, fresh cold air moving into the Mid-Atlantic region. That's usually a good setup for primarily a snow event coming in. Indeed, that is likely to be the case, I think, on Thursday night into Friday morning, at least for D.C. north and west, and Philly and New York City. Then we move forward here, and here we go. We have the development of this low pressure area by Thursday night, and again, that's all associated with a wave of energy that's still out over the Pacific Ocean. So we'll have more details to look at in terms of the computer forecast models by the time we get to, let's say, 24 hours from now, early Wednesday. And that then pushes off the Mid-Atlantic coastline again with fresh cold air in place, most likely a snow event for the D.C. metro region and also Philadelphia, New York. And this is a more widespread event that we're talking about throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. Thursday night, early Friday, moves off the coast. It looks like snow, accumulating snow, moves into New England. Again, will this be a moderate snow event or a more significant snow event? Still have to wait a day or two to get some better handle on that situation. And certainly nothing is set in stone this far out, but this is the next big threat coming to the Mid-Atlantic region in northeast U.S. Thursday night, early Friday. Will be a very cold air mass to follow for Friday night, and then a part of the upcoming weekend, and potentially another very cold air, maybe the coldest in a couple of years, will come into the northeastern part of the nation, let's say next Monday, Tuesday time frame. So a lot going on here. Stay tuned over the next couple of days. It's an interesting weather pattern. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.